just because you have an understanding of the Bible in your head doesn't necessarily mean that you have Jesus in your heart.
Get right, get inside, get hungry, got appetite. Everlasting water, never get thirsty. To disputed lands, take a journey.
You are listening to Chad Schaefer on Disputed Lands.
Hello. Looks like I've got 3 of you in here. I know it's been a while. It's actually been a month and 5 days since I've done a live show. But you know, I have needed the time. And truth be told, I'm probably going to need a little bit more time. If you can see my face right now, you can see the bags are gone. Well, they're not. The bags are still there, but the dark is gone from underneath my eyes. Challenge you to go back and look at the previous months, and I mean months of shows. And you can see the dark circles under my eyes in nearly every one of those shows. I was getting no rest, and it's been a while like that I've been getting no rest, no time to just breathe, just relax, go to my closet, read, get outside. I've just been going a long time, and my desire to minister had overcome many times, in which it should, personal need. But at the same time, our bodies do need rest. And I was ministering to the advancement of poorer health for myself. Part of that was my schedule had been changed because of the whole, COVID nonsense as well. I was working nights through the weeks and days on the weekends. Just this last weekend, thank the Father, I am back to all nights on my shift. And I'm starting to get a normal sleep pattern back again already. And that's tremendous. I mean, I can't tell you. Along with that, taking the break, I've been able to do something that I enjoy and needed. You all know I have a Harley that I just love to ride. It's where I can think. It's where I can get away and to be in my own head. Outside of my house, I'm stuck in this house for my work, 10-hour shifts at a time, where I'm tied to my office, not more than a few feet away. That's through the week, and then on the weekends. And so for me to be able to get out and about and outside is really a big thing. And in this last couple of weeks, I've been able to do that, and I'm starting to feel refreshed. The fact that I can tell a difference in how I feel in just the last 2 weeks of being able to put things down means that I was overdue. I was overdue to take a break. Not only that, I've taken a break also from social media. That's mental health. I haven't logged into Facebook except to talk to my Disputed Lands chat, and even they can tell you that I haven't done much of that either. I've not looked at Twitter. I've not looked at social media. I've not looked at news feeds. I've not looked at Facebook. I've just shut it off. Mental health wise, I was finding myself angry for long periods of the day, where my peace was being stolen from me. And that also is not healthy, that this world was overcoming any peace I would find from my prayer or reading. and of the word. And it's just, I needed to step away. And, the honest truth is, other than Disputed Lands, it may, it may be that way for a while longer. I couldn't tell you, but I missed you guys. I wouldn't, if it wasn't for you guys who have been faithful friends to me, and to to Take on the World TV and to us, I wouldn't even be on here tonight, quite honestly. But I missed your faces. I missed you guys. I wanted to talk to you, let you know I'm doing well. I haven't dropped off the face of the earth for good. Just needed a break. I was telling my Disputed Lands prayer group just this last week, before any of y'all knew me or had a care whoever, who Chad Schaefer was, going about your business. There have always been times in my life where I could, and often did, have, my peaks and valleys. I would have times where I was extremely active, and then, I would stay active for a while, and then I would go back down to where I would have extended times where I could be quiet and nobody cared. Nobody knew the difference. I could just do my own thing, be in my own head, be in my own heart, contemplate things that had been laid upon me to think about or consider, where I was being molded, or, difficult times or whatever. I could just take that time and the Lord would bring me out of it, and nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Other than my family. But, family's family, right? I mean, everybody has tides and high tides and low tides when it comes to family, and you just let them be. It's a little different having so many of you I consider family and extended family, that I know it could be disheartening for people you may look up to, such as perhaps myself. You get used to seeing them, you get used to hearing them, you get used to having them around. It's part of your routine, your schedule, you see on a regular basis, and you miss that. And you miss it when it's not there. And that can affect your life in a negative way. When you get used to your routines and to having someone there, your normal people you chat to, talk to, and hang out with, and you just miss people. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to miss each other. We were never meant to do this life alone, or in just with our family. We were meant to love each other, and for that reason alone, I'm here tonight. So we're just chatting. I see Fiducci, the Ducks, in the chat now. He's supposed to be coming onto the stream so I can talk to him and see his face. So Duck, if you need to get in, just nod your head or something, or if you need the password again, because I had to reset mine, just let me know. I can shoot that for you so you can get on here. I've sent text out to a number of the other ministry folks, YouTube guys. I'm sending Chris the link now. Chris is going to join us, Chris Bailey. So while I'm chatting with you, I'm going to get that link up. I got to get the link up so I can send it to Chris and Ian to get in. So give me just a second. I got tech stuff to do that I normally do before the show, but I'm ad hocing it tonight. By now, you should all know this is not a professional get up. We do not do professional setups around here. I mean, we do okay, we try to make it look good from time to time. Nothing too fancy schmancy around here. So I'm sending Chris a link to get in the show as soon as this website updates me and allows me to. But It's question and answer tonight too. So if you guys have questions or stuff that's been on your mind, um, you want to ask questions or talk about, we can do all that as well. No problem. All right. I've sent links to a couple people to get into the chat. Comes down to if she falls asleep. Yeah, I get that. All right. Dirt can't be on either. I sent him a message. I sent him a message. Dirt says he gets off in an hour. If we're still going, if we are still live, Dirt, let me know and I will shoot you the link. Boom. Boom. Just like that. So Liz will be, or Chris and Liz, or Chris or Liz, or Chris and Liz, or just Liz will be joining us soon. Dee changed her name. I'm just scrolling back here through the chat. What did Dee change her name to? Oh, it's D Love. Oh, that's delightful. Yeah, new Take on the World announcement. Chris is going to be on, or Chris and Liz is going to be on to talk about that here shortly. I'm reading back through chat. Hold on. Okay. I'm adding somebody to the screen. Oh, it's Chris. He's in the pool.
Oh.
He's in the pool. Hold on. Is that a rubber ducky?
No, this is a donut.
It's a oh, I see the sprinkles now. Very nice. Yes. A donut. So Chris is live from the pool. We have D Love.
I'm live from the pool. Now this.
That's just awesome. You are coming in and out a little bit though.
Yeah, I can't see any comments. Okay, that's cool.
Well, you're in and out. You know, you're kind of doing this. You're doing the stop motion movie kind of stuff right now.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So how's it going, man? It's been like forever since we've seen your face.
Yeah, did you see the start of the show?
I did not. We were having a little bit of what Riley wanted was some pool time, so you can see him in the back. Hey,
Riley. Hey, it's always good to get pool time, man. It's always good to get pool time.
This is a Disputed Lands first inside of the pool. Yes, and this is how I go swimming, everybody. So I'm letting everybody know who I really am. Yes, I do swim with a shirt and a jersey.
You're Chris the Pool Man Taylor.
So that's right. But hey, we have some exciting news.
Yeah, I know. They were just saying you guys made an announcement. You want to go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah. So give me one second here. Hey, dude, you can't come in here. You're going to be loud. Sorry about that. So we are. Well, I'll tell the quick story. So Take on the World 20 has gone through so much. We started planning this conference right after 2019, and right after 2019 we decided, hey, we're all in. We're gonna do 2020, and we get a letter in the mail, and Beulah Beach is telling us, hey, we've got no space for you. And that was a big shock to us. So we went on a hunt for literally the next 3 months. It felt like it wasn't that long, but getting all that organizing down. And we went to so many different places, so many different locations, and we ended up choosing a place called Heartland, and planning was underway. COVID-19 comes, and oh boy, did things change. So right from there, we were just going to plan still the gathering together once Ohio came back with some. Give me 1 second, guys.
Hey, no problem. Take your time. Take your time. No.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay. So right around when things were starting to slow down and we thought, hey, Ohio's reopening, we thought we were going to get Heartland to open back up, and it came with a lot of things that Take on the World was not. The getting together, the socializing, presentations are always awesome, but really at the end of the day, it's the fellowship, why everybody really comes, and what we really remember from Take on the World for the last 3 years. And we couldn't do that. With so much baggage, so many things that we actually really liked the facility that we're going to have it at. We're booked for there for 2021. So, his plan, if it is to have it there, we are booked for 2021 for Heartland Retreat Center in Marengo, Ohio. So we are booked for there. But a funny story, we had given up on a live conference. We had just completely given up because we had no locations and we were just pretty much tapped out. And we were driving by a church that had a sign open that said, conference bookings now. Very basic, very simple. And we were like, wow, this was literally just a couple weeks ago. And we decided, hey, we're going to call this place. And funny enough, they said, yes. However, the place that we were booking is now sold, but we will let you have our full facility. So that's when we started this planning process all over again. Now, needless to say, there's a couple reasons why we chose not to go to that location. But I know what happened. It was still his plan for us to see that sign, because they took that sign down the very next day. We had given up completely. And I'll say this, when you think all is gone or hope is lost or he doesn't have a plan, even the door that he sends you to may not even be that door that you're actually supposed to go through. It was actually just for us to have faith again that he has a plan and a purpose. And a couple of years ago, that the church that we were involved in, we're not trying to throw anybody under the bus, there was some issues that led to the head pastor stepping down. And we decided at that moment we could not bring that baggage into our conference, especially the local people who know what happened there. We had actually thought that person had moved on, and I'm not taking sides or I'm not saying anything, but all I do know is the things that we do expose and things we talk about, almost seemed hypocritical for us to choose a location like that. So we had given up the hope again, and another facility came available, and today we had got the word, things are still being finalized and everything's being taken care of, but we have opened completely up, and they've said yes, we can have the conference there, we can plan it there. So more details to come. We're not going to be giving out the address of the location. What we're going to be doing is only sending it to attendees, people who purchase tickets. So that's what we're planning on doing. And if you guys can still hear me, make sure you let me know and tell me. But so
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Because you're frozen on my side, but that's probably just because I'm outside. So we're super pumped. This was 50-50 shot, 50-50 chance. and it totally came through. And what I can tell you, I can't give too much away because I'm not going to tell the location. And most people, unless if you're family and you've been part of Take on the World before in the past, I can leak this amount of information to you. You know, once 2019 ended, it was like a new beginnings was happening, right? We were forming Take on the World TV. You know, we were leaving, you know, some of the other networks that we've been a part of and be a part of. You know, we're just kind of stepping out on our own, right? And it really kind of felt like this whole year was, you know, a true restart and a rebranding of everything. And I will tell you this: if you were part of Take on the World 17, how Take on the World 17 ended, Take on the World 20 begins. And that's a little hint for those of you who know. And if you know, don't go ahead and throw it in the chat room, or don't do that. But if you know, you were there, you were part of there. I don't think even Chad was there. It was only a select group of us. But how Take on the World 17 ended, Take on the World 20 will begin. And I believe this is our truly our new journey, our new beginning, is just really branching out and you know, starting anew. So we've gone through so much to get to this point. It's been exhausting. What I can tell you is, you know, no food packages, no lodging is going to be available. So that will be everything on your own. We do have refrigerators. We do have things if you want to prepare, you know, for a Sabbath meal or something like that. You know, want to bring a packed lunch or something. There are refrigerators. So if you want to do that, there's, you know, restaurants probably 15 minutes up the road for both days. So it's not too far. We're going to leave, you know, an hour plus for grabbing food. So yes, no children, you know, so no kids programs. So it's going to look a little different, but you know, hey, everything right now in COVID world, everything does look different. And really this is a springboard to get to Take on the World 21, and so that we can do it how we really, really want to do it. But I could tell you the speakers that we already have confirmed, that we have talked to, it's going to be absolutely awesome, absolutely amazing. We're working on a brand new speaker who's never been part of Take on the World before, and I'm excited for you guys all to meet this person. He's been on some really big things going on right now, and some really timely messages and important information that needs to be heard. So still working on it. Really today has been the first day that we've gotten the okay, so we are just, you know, moving along. So pool time with Riley, because we haven't seen him all day, was why we're in the pool today. So this is my parents' pool. It's not my pool, so, and it's not a really big pool, so we're not rich or anything like that. So just throwing that out.
No, that's cool.
I just wanted a cooler backdrop than you.
So, how many people will be able to attend, Chris?
What we're going to do is we're gonna start the limiting right now at 150 tickets. So we're going to have 150 tickets available on the site. If things change, we'll open up more. But we're going to start that off at 150 tickets, and it's roughly, you know, we're still trying to crunch the numbers with the location. With some of the speakers that's coming in, you know, for those of you, you know, who know, you know, me and Liz, we don't make any money from this, so it's not a profiting type of an event. We want to keep tickets extremely low because I know you're going to have, you know, potentially more, you know, if you're coming from out of state, you're going to have some, you know, nights in a hotel or whatnot.
Karen, hate to jump in there. Karen says there's only 149 tickets available. She's already got her name down for one of them, so there's now only 149 tickets available.
149 tickets. So 149 is that number. So the price of the conference for the 2-day event is going to be what we're working on. We're trying to get it between $25 and $35.
148 tickets now available. There's only 148 tickets available now.
Hey, I know they will go quick. You know, and here I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'll tell you who has confirmed. So I'm
147 tickets. 147 tickets.
147. There you guys go. Hey, that gives us a little bit of hope that you guys still want to come. So, one, I'm gonna say it. We have our Ohio group for sure going to be in attendance. I talked to Tom Dunn. Tom Dunn's going to be fully there. We got Nate Wolf. He's going to be doing some speaking. We've got Tony and Amber's going to be doing some of the music there. We've got Michael Solomon, of course, is going to be doing a presentation. Then we've got, I've talked to Chad. Chad said he is in a long time ago, so I'm throwing Chad on the, he can confirm for himself.
I can confirm. I can confirm for myself. Yep.
Awesome. And so we've got another Ohio guy who was there last year, Dr. Mike Spalding, good friend to the show. He's confirmed he would like to come. So we've got David Arthur, who is confirmed as well. And there is Mr. Nate Wolf. So he is completely confirmed. I still have the coolest backdrop, which is a floating donut. And there's a couple names that I can't confirm because I'm working on somebody totally brand new. I'm still going to reach out to a few more people from the local Ohio group. I'm going to try for Zach. Zach's been with us since day one. So if he wants to come out, he has more than a free pass to come out. Then again, remember, this is all brand new to us of trying to plan this. So, I do have a few people when we thought before we were going to have it at the other place. So I'm trying for a guy right now who has been recently on some really major shows, and that will be absolutely phenomenal. You guys will enjoy that. He would actually be one of the closers. And I will say this, put a bug out into Rob's ear because me and Rob have been chatting, and Rob, of course, is trying to figure out how he can make it work because I think he made some additional plans. So if you do happen to message Rob, we want Rob there, of course. Rob's been with us since the very, very beginning. So, I probably spoke a little bit too much, but that's what we're working on. We're going to finalize all that. We're going to make that, all that information available. So take it away, Nate.
Take it away, Nate. Nate, thanks for joining me. I missed your face. I've sent text out to, hey, keep your donut down. It's making crinkly noises. Keep your donut down. I mean, the sprinkles or crinkles or something. It's squeaky.
Oh man, that's funny.
My God. Anyway, I missed your faces, Nate. I missed your face. I've honestly, even Take on the World videos, I haven't been watching. I've needed the blanket between me and everything else, just to be in my own head.
Yeah.
I peeked in for maybe 15 seconds here and there. Don't say anything, just to see faces yourself, but to get to talk to someone. I've missed you guys. I truly have. So it's good to see your face, Nate.
I was just sitting on the couch. I got this new day job, and I have 30 days from my hire date to select my benefits, right? So, of course, I'm asking my wife, hey, can you help me figure this thing out? Right. So I'm having problems with my password. I'm like, oh man, I got like 2 days to finish filling this out. And then Chad's like, hey man, jump in. I'm like, okay, I can't get this thing to work anyway. I might as well. So yeah,
you might as well come in here and chat with me. So
might as well.
We got we got another look at this. We got now.
Oh yeah,
like a full blown. This is full blown.
Is that Jason Statham from the movies? The Jason Statham. He's always kicking everybody's butts. Handsome Rob. Yeah. What's up, Chad?
I've missed this face too, Chad. I've missed your face. We're rolling around to Take on the World 20 again, and you do start getting excited about seeing certain people again. We've done this a few years now, and it's just it's like it's an expectancy now. There's an expectancy. Oh, I'm going to get to see my boys and the girls, but I'm going to get to see my boys and hang out with them again. You know, there's that expectancy, that excitement starts building. You know, like, yeah, I'm going to get the weekend and hang out with my guys, chat, hug, laugh, you know, social and all that. So I kind of jumped the gun, and I saw you in the chat, and I said, well, I'm just going to bring you in here now if he's willing. So
Nice.
Well, thanks for doing that. It's great to see everybody. Great to see you, Chad.
yeah, Chad,
And Chris and Nate.
yeah, that's Chris in the donut.
I see
And
that.
that's Nate. That's Nate with the green screen not added.
Yeah, I guess maybe because I'm not logged in or something, I don't have any green screen options here for other than the green screen.
I don't know. Probably because you're not the one logged into it. I think if you left and came in through the login, Nate, you could probably get it.
Yeah, who cares?
But you know, it's been a big year for all of us. I know, Chad, you've had an experiential year. That's the only way I can say it. So, take on the World 2020. Is that something that you would be attending as a speaker or a guest, or no?
As of right now, no. And
Not right now.
I'll
No.
give a little a little background is back last year, 2019, going
Yep.
to the conference. It was very clear to me. God was saying, do this conference and then pause from conferences for a while. And it
Right.
was very clear to me. I told that to Chris at the time. And so anyway, so for those of you guys that don't know, you know, my wife went to sleep in Jesus back in December, completely unexpectedly. And so with that, and, you know, I'm here in Montana now, got out of Seattle area. So as of right now, I'm not planning on going. I would love to, but I really think I'm still in he told me to pause phase. is where I'm
Sure,
at
I
right
get
now.
that. I just spent 15 minutes
I would
explaining
love
I'm
to
in
go.
pause phase. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm frozen. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Chad. Can you hear us? It's got to be the mountain air, the mountains in Montana that are preventing him from hearing us.
Yes.
But Nate, you've got to. We'll wait for Chad to get back in here. Nate, I knew I had last heard through our mutual good buddy Chris, who's still in the donut, though we can barely see him because it's getting dark out there, that you had gotten a new day job. I didn't get any more details than that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So I won't give specific details, just because
Well, that's okay. You don't have to
there's a
give.
few people that might want to make trouble for me. I hate to even say that, but it's true. Some
No,
people,
I get it.
some
we don't
people
want
from a
trouble.
previous life that might, you know, try to make some trouble. So I'm not going to
Yeah,
give
don't let
them
them
any
make trouble.
ammunition. But I will say this: it is in relation to the field that I was in before I went into full-time congregational ministry. So, you know, I did social work before. I did case management. I did investigations with child protection. And it is somewhat related to that. It's not exactly that, but in this job that I'm doing, it is a social service job. It is what I would call a people helping job. And so I'm looking at it as a number of things. You know, it's a job. It helps me now to support my family more consistently, right? And what it also does is I view it as a ministry. You know, not only do I have the chance to kind of let my light shine each day, but you know, it's one of those things where I'm encouraging people that I come in contact with, you know, individuals that I'm serving throughout the day in the course of my duties. Can be a high stress job on the one hand, but it is also a job that is hugely important, and it affects people's lives. Like it's not a casual job. So, I mean, it's a big responsibility, but it fits with my previous experience, and it fits with where my heart is at, you know, still with ministry. And it's really cool, Chad. I mean, I have to just say this is all the Father's doing. You know, when I got my Bible degree and some youth ministry experience and different things, and we moved back to Alaska after college, and the churches there they weren't hiring full-time paid youth ministers, but they were certainly taking advantage of the fact that I was volunteer. And after about 6 months, I said, hey, I got student loans coming due. I got to have some kind of income. So I ended up going into the secular field. I still wanted to work with children, families, teenagers, that sort of thing. And I had some opportunity to do that in the secular field, social services. And so I went that route so I could pay the bills, and also I thought, hey, I can serve people in my community that I'm not going to have contact with at the church, in the church setting. So at the time I was thinking, and I've shared this before, where I did, social work and police work for a few years. And, kind of I called it my wandering in the wilderness, where I wasn't, doing ministry. I wasn't, doing congregational work, what I thought I was called to do. And I thought, okay, he actually used those years to give me an understanding of what the real world was like, and what some people struggle with in their day, and even people in the churches. Right. And I believe that's true. But now, hindsight is 2020, as they say. Now I'm amazed, because not only did the Father use that to better prepare me for some of the things I was going to experience in ministry that I believe I would have been blown out of and ill prepared to deal with, tragedies that people in the church had to deal with, and situations that required me to be able to put a cop hat on, or a social worker hat on, and investigator hat on. But now I'm looking back and I'm saying, the Father is so amazing. I mean, he's declared the end from the beginning, so it's no big deal for him to look 20 years ahead, 25 years ahead in Nate Wolf's life. And now I'm just praising him, because I'm saying he knew that I was going to get fired from my congregation, right? And that whole paradigm shift, that whole outlook was going to change. And he knew that I was going to have this opportunity. And in order to take advantage of that opportunity, I was going to have a certain minimum years and background of experience. And I was able to get into this current position because of that social work and investigation and police experience. So, hallelujah. I mean, isn't that amazing that I thought it was, he was doing this 20 years ago to help me get into ministry, but he was looking farther down the road.
Yeah, the Father has a way of doing all these things, and it's truthfully makes life worth living and exciting. It's hard because we can't see what's around the corner, but truth be told, we weren't made to see what's around the corner. That's That's what the relationship is all about.
Exactly.
Is for him to be that for us, and us to depend on him in that, and love the excitement of the life that we have, the living that we have, to see what he has before us. Kevin had asked a question. Hold on a second. Let me respond to Taylor here. He's apologizing.
Looks like we were losing our buddies there. They were in and out, in and out.
I'm just letting him know we'll get him next time. We'll get him next time, and we'll schedule it and have him on, and he can finish his story, because I do want to talk to him. I miss him, and he's had it really rough, but we need to not let him go. So I will bring him back on here real soon.
Maybe I'm excited to see him about him. That was a nice surprise.
Maybe we'll get him next week. But this kind of goes into Kevin Stoll. He asked a question, talk about what this project that is going on. The last time I had spoken on here, or time before on Disputed Lands, was talking about the Commonwealth Theology Bible. It's really a Commonwealth Theology commentary. And it looks like Chris has jumped out of the donut, and we have Liz now, who is in the donut in the office, I think.
She put the kibosh on the donut.
Yeah, the donut's off, but she's kind of in, she's kind of not in. So when I can see that they're there, I'll bring them back on the screen.
Okay.
But right now they're just messing with us. But so anyway, Commonwealth theology. But the same way with that, here's the thing. The opportunity is there. It's where my heart is leaning towards now. I would love to be able to just go off to the corner of my office over here and just read, research, and write, and just do that.
Yeah.
But the ministry is, this is where the Father has called me to, so I can't just do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't just crawl off to the hole anymore. Not only that, part of the reason for leaving the social media is, and finding myself just angry all the time, is just seeing the advancement of the Luciferian agenda upon the world has me really riled. You know, the COVID, and I'm going to call it nonsense. If you are offended by that, I really don't care. I really don't care. That's the honest truth. I really don't care if you're offended by me calling it COVID nonsense. This is still a place where we can be free for now, at least as far as what we can think and say today, to some extent, though it's getting harder and harder to do so. If you want to have a private conversation with me about that and share with me how I'm wrong, don't. I don't care. I'll just block you. I'll save yourself the time. I'm not going to have that conversation. It's nonsense. You know, right now, today, you can go into only certain stores if you wear a mask. So in certain places with a cloth identifier, you cannot buy, sell, trade, or borrow. If it makes you happier or relate how I relate to it, let's just put the Star of David on it, and we can put it on our sleeves if that makes you happy. So we can identify ourselves as the ones who are not compliant or the ones who are diseased. Please do some research for people. Please do some research about all the arguments against the Jews that were launched as the propaganda campaign back in the early 30s and late 20s and early 30s against the Jews. And see, they were low lives. They carried diseases. They were not to be socialized. They were less than human. All these things, almost all the things that they say about now about those people who don't go along with the COVID nonsense, you could pretty much just switch that term for non-compliers with Jews, and it's the same stuff. You don't like it, I don't care. It's the truth. And, you know, it's just a way, in my opinion, of, you know, just slowly and winding this into society, the common. This is the way it is now. Okay, this is the way it is now. This is the new normal. And I'm sorry, but you're a bunch of sheeple if you think for 1 second and believe that nonsense. You know, of course, the disease is real. There are people who are more susceptible to it, like pneumonia or the previous COVID, corona type viruses. Obviously, you should be precautious. I have a parent who is more susceptible than others. He should take those natural precautions. But Father, have mercy. The living who are young and healthy don't need to be stymied and put more controls on what they can and cannot do because of the weak who are weaker. Let them be strong and prosper. Anyway, that's, you can kind of feel there where my heart is on that and why I've been so riled. It was much worse 2 weeks ago. I could not say that without spitting vehemently in anger. So I've calmed down a bit, able to coordinate and consider my words a little bit better right now. So it was probably better that I didn't come on and talk about that. but that and amongst the other stuff, I just got on Facebook today for the first time, and it looks like Rob's putting up with the BLM nonsense
Yeah.
that I've heard people talking about, here and there, just through the news feed briefly. I'm sure I don't even want to know what's going on in this. Of course, I'm aware of the shooting and stuff, but that was like a month and a half ago, or a month. Wasn't that a month and a half ago? They're still driving this. Are they still?
Yeah, I mean,
is something still being driven?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I was at the same point today, Chad. I was scrolling through stuff, on a break from work, and then a little bit tonight, and I was just like, I could feel myself getting upset. I'm just like, I got to get off of Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, it's like, no matter almost you say anything, on your Facebook, you try to give any type of position, especially if you're considered, somebody like a public figure or whatever. Look at Rob Skiba. When he posts something, he catches flack from somebody or some group all the time. It must be very frustrating. But it's like, you can't even have an opinion today sometimes without people being upset with you, and believing maybe you're racist or somehow you're ignorant to things just because you're not, posting all day, or you're not watching all the links to videos that they send you, or, I'm getting bombarded with, with links to videos, and people are like, hey, watch this, and then you'll understand, and check this out and watch this video, and you got to see this over here. And I'm just like, right now my life is super busy. And so I have the same amount of time as everybody else, but I have less time than I had before. And so I have to make sure, that I prioritize my day. And there's some things I just don't have the time to get to. It doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. But I'm seeing a lot of that going around, and it's like, hey, let's just hit the pause button for a minute, and let's not assume false motives from people. Let's not bombard folks with stuff. Just, state your opinion, pray about it, and, be compassionate to others. But I think, maybe some of that I was thinking tonight is kind of a trap. We want to be on social media, so we know what's going on, but then it's like, it's like a psychological warfare against us.
We can be compassionate, but we still got to be able to and ready to speak the truth in boldness.
Yeah.
Like my parents included. And I had this conversation with my mother just the other day. It's like, I understand that, for the elderly to catch this, it could be quite serious.
Yeah.
Of course I love my parents. I want them to be precautious according to their own desire and everything. At the same time, Jesus in the scriptures warned us of the days ahead. We can see how history has unfolded. What makes you think that those people, the Luciferians, the ones who worship the adversary, aren't still trying to do what they've always been doing throughout human history? What makes you so naive to think that they aren't at it right now?
Yeah.
You weren't alive then. You can see the words and what unfolded, or what eventually, the highlights, but you can't see how it implemented. You can't see how these things work their way through society. So what assumptions do you have in your own mind how these programs take place upon a group and a mass sort of people? What is that supposed to look like to you? Or what is it not supposed to look like? I mean, if you haven't thought about it, then how can you really say what it's supposed to look like when Lucifer advances his kingdom?
Yeah.
And the plan for a one world government again. What is that supposed to look like to you if not this, where the whole world is being, is agreeing to one law? They debate about it through the UN. They debate about it through all these, League of Nations. All these times they've tried to get the nations to agree, but suddenly they can all agree on what laws to carry out for masks.
Yeah.
And social distancing, and just like that, overnight, all the world who is consumed are right online, right in step, lockstep with the agenda. This is the way you have to live now. Just, I mean, that quick. Within a month.
Yeah, it's definitely a coordinated effort, you know, and you could say that, you know, some people might say, oh, well, coordinated politically, but I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a coordinated attack. It's a spiritual attack. And, you know, this is just part of the warfare that's been going on for some time. And, you know, this plan has been in the works, you know. And I have to remind myself, too, you know, that the Father, obviously, he's allowing certain things to happen for his purposes. And, you know, if we are the believers and we're the ones that are, you know, we understand some things about scripture and prophecy and different things, doesn't mean we know everything, you know, or understand all prophecy and whatnot. But if we all just stay silent, you know, I mean, where are the prophets of today? And what I don't mean by that is, you know, people with special knowledge and telling the future. I mean, to prophesy at its base level really means to speak forth truth, right? And doesn't mean that the prophets of old never foretold something, but their main job, their bread and butter job, was speaking forth the word of the Father daily to the people of God, you know, to
Yeah,
the
I can tell you, I went to a store here locally. I was needing a lead, just a lead for an electrical place. So I went to the local store here that carries those kind of things. Not Patricia's store. They don't carry this kind of thing. But they were mandating that you wear masks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew that because I'd already been there earlier. But I came in anyway because I needed it, and they were hey, sir, you need a mask to enter and shop at our store. And there were people around. I purposely said, I am not wearing a mask if I have to shop here. I am not a sheep.
Yeah.
The sick people who are susceptible can stay home. I'm not sick. I haven't been sick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, you can't shop here. But, you know, it's things like that, that simple rebellion where within earshot of people, to force them to think, to force them to be confronted with the thought of what they're being led in any little way I can. You know, be ready to be bold.
They're voting tomorrow. They're voting tomorrow, for Toledo. The mayor mentioned today that tomorrow I guess the city council of Toledo is voting whether or not to have mandatory masks. So yeah, I mean, this is hitting home. You know, it's like I haven't had to wear it except for certain stores if I want to go in. But you know, they're voting on this thing tomorrow in my area, so it's happening all over. And you know, if a state like Texas, you know, Governor Abbott is mandating that this past week. I mean, you know, I posted a thing on Facebook that said "Don't mask with Texas," you know, play on words, you know. But it's
right now, these mandates are for government employees only, and people need to be aware of that. They can only mandate. They cannot mandate for the everyday citizen. They can only mandate it. You need to know. You need to know and stand up for yourself. And as Holly said in the chat, if you can't say no to this now, you're not going to say no later when it's harder, until it's, you know, until you're crying no.
Could just be a little, you know, precursor for the mark, right? And
absolutely,
if you can't deal with the mask, you're
what's to say this isn't the step they need for the mark, right?
Yeah.
This isn't the step that they're going to use to implement a mark.
It could be a psychological pre-programming kind of a deal, and get people desensitized to the idea that, look, if you don't have this, you can't shop here.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe they use this as the way to say, okay, there's going to be a large number of people who are protesting this. Those who have agreed, to do it, they get the mark. Anybody not willing to comply with the new infectious disease mandates of the world will not be allowed to, will not take the mark. That kind of. Maybe it is. Maybe it's right there. But people better wake up. They better wake up now. You better, because hard decisions need to be made.
Yeah. And they need to realize that there's a spiritual undertone here. We can get wrapped up in the whole physical aspect of it because we live in the physical. We see it, we smell it, we taste it, we live it, we walk it out. But we have to always remind ourselves that there's a deeper level here. There's spiritual forces of wickedness, and there's the agendas are spiritually driven, and I don't mean in a good way. I mean, I'm talking
Right.
evil spiritual, activity. So you're right. I mean, we do need to be prepared. We need to be willing to speak out and speak the truth. Speak the truth in love, but speak the truth. Sometimes we want to do one or the other. We want to speak truth and we're not loving, or we just want to kind of, oh, I'm just about love, but we don't speak the truth.
If Yahweh felt that this creation that we were born into, in it, that we needed another apparatus to filter our breathing, surely he would have provided it at our birth. But
Yeah.
we do not.
I mean, it gives us an immune system, and
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. The truth of the matter is, disease has been around. Yes, some of us sometimes will get sick. This earth is in a fallen state. It's not yet been fully redeemed. The earth, that is.
yeah,
Some of us have, but not the earth itself. At his coming, it will be. And it's going to be, it's going to be tried with fire, purified with fire. But we need to be ready to be bold and ready with an answer and know what we're going to say.
yeah.
It's hard to believe here, Nate Dogg, but we've been on almost already an hour. I don't know if there's anything else that's on your mind or heart that you want to chat about.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to let the folks know, since we're on Take on the World, Disputed Lands on Take on the World TV. Hopefully, a week from Wednesday, which I believe is the 15th, I'll be back on at least for another episode of Journey to Truth here on Take on the World TV, and I believe I'm going to kick that off with a special guest and a special topic. So I'm kind of interested in that. It's exciting. I had been allowing my lovely wife to use my studio on Wednesday nights because she was teaching an online social work class, and it was running from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and she really needed a good setup. Could you imagine trying to teach an online class for 4 hours, sitting in a rocking chair in a dark corner or something, So I said, hey, use the studio. So she's been using the studio, but the class is ending, and so I'll have that ability to do the 9 p.m. Eastern lives, and so at least for the first one, it'll definitely will be live, and I have a special guest in mind. So, which is cool because this special guest actually is in the same fellowship that I was in with the church that fired me, and he came to some similar truths that myself and my wife have, some of the Father's truths this last year. And he's come to these within the last month or two. So he's real fresh, real zealous. And so I'm going to have him on. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who supported us. It's been, if you can believe it, about 18, 19 months since I was fired. And a lot of good new things are happening. I'm still doing ministry. I'm still going to do some content. This last month I started a new job. So obviously I had to kind of back up a little bit and get that all settled in. But hoping to get back in the mix a little more consistently on some of the content. But just thank you for the prayers. And I am still doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, that you're not going to see online, but that's become a blessing because I've been able to minister to a lot of people one-on-one just because, after over a year and a half, people reach out and you make connections and you have the ability to minister to people in a way that you might never have had before. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm just taking it one day at a time and enjoying some extra time with family as well. But my wife and I are working from home. So Jennifer and I, we both work from home, mostly doing online stuff, and phone calls and stuff, which is kind of cool and kind of crazy too, because it's like, Ghostbusters, you're not supposed to cross the streams, like we're constantly trying, who needs the studio now? Okay. What meetings do you have? But it's been kind of cool. We're kind of tag teaming some things. So anyway, I just appreciate the invite to come on.
Well, I'm glad you decided to come on. I don't have anybody in particular lined up for next week. Kevin, to answer your question, I'm not quite sure specifically what you wanted to know, but I have been invited, and I am working with a number of others. You can go back and watch the previous month Disputed Lands. I had several of the guys on, Krieger, Hamp, and Steinley, and Finley. I had them all on. Are working through the Commonwealth Foundation to create a Commonwealth theology commentary Bible. I have my part that I can contribute, but quite honestly, I haven't even done anything in regards to that. So I have the opportunity to work on that. It's there.
Cool.
Honestly, I've been really busy. This last week, just on Thursday, my youngest daughter was married. The very next day, my son, my second to the youngest son, Isaiah, he had a graduation party. He's graduated a full year early from high school.
Wow.
With all the credits. He's just a super smart kid, already knows what he wants to do and stuff like that. And so we held his graduation party the next day. So we've been, the Schaefer house has been turned upside down in the last week.
You probably wore out, bro.
Well, my wife and family handled a lot of that, but I made myself sparse, and so between the front door and my office, you just make that a real quick trip, or to the kitchen, you duck when you go in there to make sure you're out of the way, not in the middle of anybody's business, so they handled a lot of it. I get to do some of the cleanup. That's fine. But so it has been busy and hectic around there.
Some cool milestones though for your family. We've gone through some of that too, and we had my youngest son who graduated this year. We had his grad party this last weekend, and he decided he just wanted to have a group of friends, And I said, "Well, what do you want to do, man?" And he's so cool. He's like, "I want a bounce house." And I'm like, "Really?" And I said, "Do they let adults go in those things?" He's like, "Oh yeah." So we checked around. We ordered a big bounce house. It was like 15 feet wide, actually in a square. But we had this big bounce house blowing up in our backyard, and all these teenagers were just having fun being kids.
That sounds like a blast.
I thought after the year that he and his, friends have been through, I said, "Tell us what you want to do." He's like, "I want to have friends over and I want to do a bounce house." I'm like, "Hey, I can make that happen. It's going to happen." So we did the bounce house. It was pretty cool. I didn't get in the bounce house because, I didn't want to knock teenagers out cold, running into me. So
right.
I just enjoyed it, lived vicariously through them. So, but it's a blessing, to see our kids have some joy in the midst of some of this, craziness. So.
Well, that's awesome. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, Nate Dogg. I will try to get a guest for next week, even if it's just chatting again, this unprofessional, just me. We'll try to get some continuity back in for y'all for Monday nights. It is harder during the summer. I got to tell you, it is harder during the summer. There's just lots of activities going on. Less active for me as my kids get older, and more independent. But there's still stuff to be done. I still need my closet time. I can tell you, Nate, I'm not ready to come out of my closet just yet.
Yeah.
I can feel, like I said at the beginning of the show here, I don't know if you were there, I already can tell a difference between how I felt coming on the show and doing it tonight than how I felt a month ago when I was doing the last show. I was pointing out, just go back and real quick, look at the beginning of any of the Disputed Lands show, and you will always see these dark circles under my eyes.
Mm.
It was becoming a permanent feature for me, regardless of what I was doing. I was not getting any rest. I'm feeling more rested, but I feel like there's more rest to be had. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be fighting. I am enjoying my time of getting reintroduced to my father and our time together.
Yeah.
It's refilling me up so that I can fight the good fight in his strength and not my own strength. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. So Yeah. So keep on keeping on, and thanks for having me on, and thanks everybody for the prayers and continued support, and good to see so many familiar folks in the chat. So
Yeah, we love you, Nate. Thanks for coming on.
love you too.
And
bro.
we'll see you again here next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, look for Nate. He's going to have a special guest on. I love
Yeah.
you, Nate.
Okay, take care, bro. Thanks.
And guys, like I said, I will be on again next week. I don't have a guest lined up for next week. There may or may not be, but I will be on next week. We will have a Disputed Lands, so I can see all your faces, God willing. I'll be here to love on y'all and be loved on. But until then, this has been Monday night. This has been Disputed Lands on Take On the World TV. Until we see you then. Bye-bye.
Get right, get inside, get hungry, word of God appetite. Everlasting water, never again thirsty. To Disputed Lands, take a journey. Get right, get inside, get hungry, word of God appetite. Everlasting water, never again thirsty. To Disputed Lands, take a journey. Get right, get inside, get hungry, word of God appetite.